Hi.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody? Have we got the main chat working? Is that working now? The private? Where are we? Chat. Comments. See if they're working. Why is it a private video? Let's just sort this out. Technical glitches. We're just waiting as well for Retro for you to turn up. Captain Commodore's away sunning his white bits at the moment, so I hope he's having fun. Just give us a break for 2 seconds just while we try and find out why I can't send comments.
Yeah, the comments doesn't work for me either. It's still on private. But, yeah.
We should be live anyway. It's not private.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely public. We're definitely live.
Yeah, we are.
So I'm going to have to drop that down, move it over there. Let me bring your YouTube channel out. So I can see both, so I can talk to you guys. Oh, Slack set up or what? Slack set up.
Well,
yeah, that's better.
I need to do...
I don't know why it's saying it's on a private video anyway. It's just stupid, to be fair. But hey ho. Well, so Joseph,
Yeah.
what have you been up to?
What I've been up to, I just recorded my first video after a long time. So I had like long vacation from my YouTube channel, but I did acquire one more bread bin. Do you want to see that?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Look at it. It's bread bin. Unfortunately, it's not Commodore brand.
You need to put a Commodore in there, mate. You really do.
Yeah. But it looks kind of retro. So
will it fit the shortboard? Will the shortboard go in?
Shortboard. Yeah, shortboard it could. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That.
Yeah. I need to put some LEDs inside, and yeah. So my new bread bin. And yeah. Well, I'm hoping to get my new video out shortly, in maybe a couple of days. And there is a couple of topics that I need to cover. But that's mostly it. Most of my work lately was related to the workshops with kids. Not really retro related, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd seen that. I've seen that on the on Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Been doing stuff with kids. You did do some stuff with retro stuff with kids before, though, haven't you? If I remember.
Yeah, I wanted to learn them, programming in BASIC, and I wanted to do on proper machines from that period, 8-bit period. So we are working on Commodore 64s. Some part of the workshops, but other part of the workshops, I include some more modern platforms and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of mix a little bit of this and that.
It's cool. I mean, when I've had grandkids around and they've been looking around my games room and stuff like that, and they've been playing Commodore, and they always want to play on Leaderboard is one of them, which I'm quite surprised at with them being young. Ghostbusters, they all go for, because that's what I gave them. They were first time they came, But yeah, it's nice, especially the coding side of it. I've shown them a little bit how to clear a screen. How did you do that? And then now you change your border color, and it's like, wow, how did you do it? And you can see that spark of excitement, there, that you can actually do something with computers, other than just clicking on an app or on a bat file or somebody's created.
Yeah, what I like to do with the kids, I like to load some game in BASIC, written in BASIC, and then we are hacking, and then That's how they learn how those games are actually written, what are we changing, and stuff like that. And this is very interesting for them. They are very excited when they can change like number of score that they can achieve, or speed, change the speed, or something like that. Just small things. It's very interesting.
I remember back in the day, but I didn't do much the lines of coding as such. It was all in BASIC. My mum did send me to a programming course, but I was probably about 11, 12 at the time, so I wasn't really getting grips of it too much, and couldn't take it in very well. But definitely writing things in out of the magazines teaches you, oh, that's what that does. Even if it's a loop or something like that you can see. I've forgotten most of it now. I was writing a little thing to change border if you press space bar and this, that, and the other, and then I got to a point where I wanted to go back to there, and then it was like, hang on a minute, if I put go to line there, it's just going to go in for a forever loop. It's never going to go past it. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, how do you get past that now? So I had to look up to see how to get past that a little bit. So there is a heck of a lot of stuff lost. I did write an adventure game, a bit like The Hobbit style game, where the graphics drew at the top and then you had the text at the bottom.
Text below, yeah. Well,
I did write one, but I went on holiday with my parents. I probably got about 20 screens in or something like that. And I only had a tape deck as well. And I went to, I remember, Cleethorpes, Beach Homes, Cleethorpes. And I was sat there writing and went back to save it. Mum says tea's ready, like, you know what I mean? And so I'm saving program back to tape, and then power went off on campsite.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
So I only had it onto one tape, you know what I mean? Backed up onto one tape, and it was like, so I never went back to it. I never went back to it after that. It sort of spoiled that. But I was enjoying it, and I was curious about how to do more things, but I started getting about 14, 15 then, and women started coming into mind, and all computers went out of the window.
Yeah, definitely. But of course, it's not important that everybody knows how to program, but it's important to know what kind of stuff actually works behind the scenes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So these things are kind of lost these days. Kids doesn't understand. They don't understand how the things are developed. They don't need to know how to program, and maybe they never will. But they need to know that somebody put some effort in it, some code, something is happening behind the scenes, and this logic still hasn't changed since the 8-bit days, right? So so
still all the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got Neil's here now. Look, he's wall. He's Neil. How you doing, Neil? You all right?
Oh, hi, Neil.
Okay.
Where have you been?
This stupid thing, I lost track of time. I just saw your message before. And then I ran inside to get a whiskey. And I've noticed I put Dr. Pepper and whiskey together instead of whiskey and Coke, so it's a bit different. So.
Oh, well, it is what it is.
I couldn't waste a whiskey.
Yeah. Tim Retro Corner says excuses.
I can't get the comments up for some reason. It says live view comments don't show up.
It says Sept up for us, mate. Can't do it, so I've had to open up another page at the side just so I can see what comments are going on.
Okay.
So we can't really see what's coming up. And
having a bit of a nightmare. No wonder there's only one video out there about flashing the firmware on these Furia cards or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's why there's only one video out there.
Has it got a lot of views?
No, not that many, but it goes on for a long, long time, and he swears a lot and stuff. And that's why.
Well, you never know if there's only one video out there, pal. There's
it's pretty old now, but you never know, like I say. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, we're just talking about.
Else?
Yeah, we're all right, man. We're just talking about coding and stuff like that, and as little adventures as we're kids and stuff. I think I told story before anyway. You know, when I went on holiday and power went out when I was saving my game. So yeah, it's nice to see that spark in little kids' eyes when you can give them something to do other than joystick and play. The shock that it can actually, is it that easy? Can you just change a border like that, a colour? You know, I mean, they are easy steps, don't get me wrong. You know, creating a sprite and making a sprite move around is a little bit more technical than just changing colour of the border. You know, but the beauty of the books back in the day. Have you ever seen it VIC-20 book, Joseph?
No.
It's got little characters and bubbles at the side of it.
That's great.
You know, if this is your cursor, and it will flash. It
makes sense.
So rudimentary.
Yeah, it is, but we have to understand that before that, the computer interface didn't exist.
No.
Way.
Nobody knew anything about them, really. It wasn't a common thing. They wanted everyone in every house anyway, and if you had a computer, you were a rich man.
Yeah.
Back then, you know, until Commodore started bringing these cheap systems down for us, like the VIC-20. You know, I have fond memories at VIC-20, but I put it on now and I just think, what a pile of crap. You know. And I can say it because I love Commodore, don't get me wrong. I love it that much that I can diss it if I want. It is crap. You know, you've got hardly any screen to type on. You start typing like that, have 3 words in that, and you're on bottom line. You know, So you can't. You've got nothing to use for visual for typing and stuff like that. When it all becomes a great big mess, lines of code when you're playing on a VIC. It hasn't got much memory anyway. It's only 3K, 1.5 usable or something. If I remember rightly.
Yeah, something like that. It's really small.
Yeah, it's 5K is only 1.5 usable or 3.5 usable or something like that. It's a while. I'm sure some people in the comments will correct me on that one. So yeah, I mean, I moved from that. My mate pushed me to get a ZX Spectrum, which broke down every 2 minutes, and they had a lifetime warranty on them, so my mum kept taking it back. But they were a bit of a, let's say, a pain in the ass to load games into it. If you didn't give your treble right, you didn't have your bass right, if you had the volume up too much, it crash. But young boy me, between the VIC-20 and the Commodore 64, when I was getting the 48K Spectrum, didn't know about stuff like that because I were spoilt with the VIC-20 anyway, because it had a digital input, the VIC-20, and it had no problem. You just plugged it in, press for a shipper and stop, press play, and the bloody thing loaded. It was no problem. Then you move to a Spectrum, and it's like you've got to tweak it.
What the magazine was called? Crash.
And wow, come on. I mean, wow. If you even breathe near that Spectrum joystick interface, your joystick either stopped working or game crashed.
Well, the 16K,
You know, but it had to all start from somewhere. And if it wasn't for all that lot, you know, we wouldn't be here today with high-powered systems and stuff like that now.
Exactly.
You know, they are our grandfathers of systems, really, that brought it into the world, into the retail world of nearly every home. You know, great stuff. How's your 1541 doing anyway, Neil?
Still in a box down there. I'm not lying. I mean,
I'm going to keep plugging that every single time now. You know.
I know. Yeah, we'll get round to it.
You just shut me up.
Commodore's behind me. Look.
I can see it, and it's stacked above the best.
The Amiga's there. The Sinclair's on there. The Harlequin that don't work. I got lots of things that don't work. Seems my current trending thing.
It happens, though, doesn't it?
It does. I'd rather show it as it is. I wouldn't hide these things and just sugarcoat it.
Sometimes it goes swimmingly well, no problems at all. Everything just works off the bat. You know,
most of the time it just goes wrong.
It's like that 1541 of mine. You know, we tried and forever, and nothing was making any difference to it. And then discovered F1 with Jiffy DOS in, but directory brought it out at bug. What gives? Why can't a command line do that?
Exactly.
Come on, coder.
So, so that mystery is not been solved yet. Nobody actually managed to make it work. Like in stable.
One with Jiffy DOS in and it works.
With Jiffy DOS, okay.
I'm not kidding you, right? If I plug it in, before I start it up, get it to read a disk now, it would say error 74. And press F1 with Jiffy DOS for directory, and it gives you the directory, and it works every single time, no problem at all. And I can unplug it and plug it into another machine, and it's still working. And as soon as it comes up with error 74, back into 64, F1, and it resets it. It's like there's a flip flop in there that's flip flopping and not flop flipping.
I've got trouble with flip flops in my Harlequin.
It's what happens when you're approaching 50, mate.
Yeah. Needs a tablet in it.
So I had another one because originally I built that first board that Lee built as well. I can't remember the names of them now. And that just spent 18 months of just not working right and trying different drives in it and trying other and just scratching my head, scratching my ass, and it was like lost. You get to a point where you know your toys come out of pram, like you've had enough. Sent it down to Lee, he put his drive on it, it worked. He put really important Gore-Tex on it, it worked. Sent it back, it didn't. You know, and it was just off the cuff when I had it plugged into my 64 that I hit that for directory instead of typing it like I normally do. You know, we all get into his normal routines, don't it? Rather than pressing a button, it's easy just to type load star or load dollar. It's just as easy as pressing a button because we've done it for years. And I didn't. I hit the button, and it was like, oh, give me directory. And then every time it faulted, it hit that F1 button and it brings it out. So I thought, right, I'm done. That'll do for me. It works. I know how to bring it out if it has a fault. It's for me. I'm not selling it to anybody or out like that. Yeah. I'm done. We're 18 months, 2 years down the line with this build, and it's just taking the absolute. Yes. So what I did is that with the other board that I had, I built it all up into the other drive. In casing that I had, I wasn't going to do it, but I thought I may as well put it all back together. I'm just short of the LED thing in it now, but I think Duncan from Retro Crazy were going to send me some LEDs down. Just an LED board for the front of it to finish that off. And that does exactly the same. Two complete different board versions does exactly the same. We've tried different ROMs in there, so it's not the ROM. Do you know what I mean?
Tim did some exploration. He didn't find anything. Also, right? No.
Everybody's had to go at it, well, apart from me. Captain Commodore, hasn't he?
Yeah, you put a Gore-Tex in it and it's fine.
You've all had the same issues, haven't you?
Yeah, my Gore-Tex wasn't fine because it was on a prehistoric firmware at the time and I'd never updated it. So it wouldn't work on there anyway for a 1581. So I didn't want to sort of take it out of the unit that it were in my Gore-Tex to update it, and I didn't know how to update it. I've not updated it before, and then I realised that it's on a USB stick and you shove it in and press a button and it's done. So I could have done that. But yeah, they both work now perfectly fine, just as they are. If it locks up in that 74, press the F1 and it comes out. It's fine. So I've got two 1581 replicas now built.
Yeah.
Tim said these are fine now.
Who did?
Tim.
Tim.
Two 1581s are fine now.
Did he
wow.
Tim, did you put PC drives in there or Amiga drives? See if it comes up in his comments.
Amstrads.
It's put Amstrad drives in it.
3 inches, yeah. Did you see there's one of the Amstrad designers at the Retro
PC
Show
drives,
next week?
Is what, sorry?
There's one of the original Amstrad hardware designers at the Retro Show next week.
I think there was somebody, wasn't there?
I think we should get his autograph for Captain Commodore.
We'd love to Captain Commodore.
number one Amstrad fan.
Hey, this is great, him not being here this week. You know what I mean? We can rib him to hell. He can't defend himself.
I'm looking forward to that next week.
You know, if he ever gives me admin to control his YouTube when he's away or out like that, I'm going to change him to Captain Amstrad.
Change the logo. He'd love it.
So that was the 1540, 81.
PC drives, he said.
Yeah, Tim had done. He put PC drives in them ones. I've got Amiga ones in mine. I don't get what the difference is between that little adapter board. What did he say? For one particular, the PC drive, you need to tie one of the signals high in the interface board. Don't remember which now, because we've abandoned them and forgotten them because they're working and we're not going anywhere near them again.
Don't touch them.
Are you building another one, Tim? Let us know. Would you build another one now? So yeah, how's your videos been doing, Neil?
Not too good, the last one.
Has it not?
Slowly.
I found that with the...
But the one before did over 2,000 views. It's YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just strange sometimes. I mean, the other Xbox one that I did, not the one I've just released, the previous one, that just sort of started coming up, trundling. But it's gradually continued going on and building. I thought, well, that's not too bad if you can keep on going, you know.
Yeah,
You haven't got that woof like we normally see and stuff like that at the beginning because everybody jumps in at the beginning.
I think it's just a look at the draw, isn't it? There's so much competition. I mean, you got Natalie does tech now. I mean,
Yep.
Stuff like that. You've got loads of competition out there.
Well, and that's why I've always said right back at the beginning, you know, we're little fish in a big pond, to be fair.
Yeah, like guppies.
Yeah.
We're the guppies of the retro repair world.
Fucking lily pad. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy what I'm doing. What's going to be my channel's for 4th birthday when it's coming up in February. I've enjoyed my time doing YouTube, and I think I'll continue doing YouTube. I'm not in it to make millions. I already know you don't make millions, not unless you look slightly different, should I say?
Yeah. You lose millions.
And then you'll go. and there's no amount of fancy Hooter t-shirts I can put on.
Exactly.
But no, I started YouTube because it's fun and I enjoy doing it, and the community build-up side of things. If you hadn't been doing YouTube, then Neil wouldn't have met, Josip wouldn't have met Lee, you know, and all the rest of them as well. So there's quite a few, and I'm not missing names out. But yeah, it's built a very nice little community. I'm enjoying Discord as well. That's quite good in there. It's got quite a few people in. Everybody's welcome to join. If you check the descriptions of any of his channels, you'll find the link to get into Discord. You can come and have a look at Discord. You can have a look at not a lot of the behind the scenes, because most of that happens in the channel's Patreons and stuff like that. But there is bits and pieces that we throw in there. What we're doing up during the day, what things we've broken, what things we've fixed, stuff like that. Just a bit of real life stuff. Like today, I've been out and bought that Terminator. I was sat talking to my uncle about it, and he were wanting that one, so he keeps waiting for it to appear in CEX. So I mean, it's only a single player game; it's not a multiplayer game in that one. So I thought I saw it in a jumped it car and went to Leeds today and picked it up from a CEX in Leeds. And then when I've finished it, I'll pass him it and he can play it. And then when he's finished it, I'll have it back and I'll take it back up, trade it in for something else.
Nice.
Like the good old days.
Yeah, it's quite good. Is that Terminator? I'm quite enjoyed the first part of it. I've not played much because I had kitchen duties to do. I abandoned the cooker cleaning scenario yesterday and decided to do it today, which was a much worse idea. So I just abandoned it and done it another day. But hey, yeah, I've gone back to Series X for playing games at the moment. Quite enjoying it. and played another one. It's still something awake, something like that. They called it. It was to do with an oil rig. Bit of a horror one. No guns or out like that, but I completed that the other day and I quite enjoyed it. Call of Duty not Black Ops, Vanguard. I've just started playing the campaign mission on that. I'm not bothered about playing internet online. You jump in there and you just get obliterated anyway because you're a newbie and you're low leveled and stuff like that. So, I may as well just play on campaigns and stuff like that. But yeah, so other than that, I've sort of enjoyed playing with the Xboxes over the last few weeks. Enjoyed doing the kamikaze hack on the Xbox with the drill. It's quite clever, is that? Because once you've done it, to unlock it again, you don't need any wire, you don't need any drill. You just get a resistor leg and poke it in the hole.
I mean, you
uses
the
static off our body just to spike it enough to unlock the SPI on it.
Imagine the first person that did that, how many attempts he did wrong.
I mean, I couldn't tell you the amount of drives that I've done that hack on back in the day, but I have killed 2 drives by going too far. And like that little message that were on there that says, you don't need to lean on it and push down on it. It's not piece of wood. You just sit there and just gently. But it does take a long, long time. You're just doing it and doing it and doing it. Going, come on! You're waiting for this beep. But you've got to stop on that beep. If you don't stop on that beep and you wait for the software to change in its window when it's telling the information on it, you've gone too far, and that drive will be dead.
Oh wow!
So you have to have that audible tone.
Change that. Can you not change the IC again now? Or is it?
You can, but what are you changing it for?
If you drilled it too far, I mean.
Yeah, you can change it, but what are you changing it for?
Drill again.
Well, from where?
Hey?
From where?
Where you were drilling before?
Yeah, but where are you getting the chip from?
From another drive.
You might as well just change the PCB.
All right, can you do that? That's what I'm saying though, but is it got information tied from that drive to that chip?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So you can't just swap them over anyway.
No, you can't.
Change the whole board.
You can swap the drive over perfectly fine. Not an issue at all. It'll run DVDs. It'll play music. As soon as you put a game in it, nah.
Okay.
There's a key in the drive, and it's married to the motherboard. Wow. So if they don't match, then it's never going to run a game. That's why on the early ones, the first ones, the Xenons with non-HDMI, majority of them in there were a Samsung or an Hitachi drive. Where you could just update the firmware on them ones, you were okay. And then along came the BenQ and Lighton drives. Again, you can do the firmware on a BenQ one. It's so easy. You just click intro drive, read. It does it all for you. Click right, outro drive, done. Is a BenQ.
Why they made it so difficult? It's ridiculous.
Hey?
Don't know why they made it so difficult.
So that's what what Microsoft's fight against updating the firmwares. I mean, I updated firmware in mine as soon as it came out. Yeah, okay, I had the ability to do so. But as soon as a new firmware come out, I just contacted all my mates and said, just don't bother with your consoles. Drop them back down to me. There's an update out. I'd just flash them back to stock for them for the time being, so they'll just have to run on normal games. And then once the updated firmware came out for it, I put it back on and off they went again. But back end of the life, and the reason why the LT3 firmware is called the Silver Bullet is because Microsoft did a sneaky update behind the scenes without even prompting you to update, which led the hackers a backdoor straight in.
All right.
So it didn't matter what Microsoft did to the drive firmware to try and stop you running backups. Because what they did is they changed the discs. The discs had challenge responses in them. So every time it got to a certain part, I can't remember whereabouts it was, about 2010 when the Slims came out. It might have been 2011. They did a firmware update on the discs. So it changed them to what they called XGD3 format, which was 8.6 gig big. And you all know out there your dual layer discs are 8.4 gigs. So how do you write an 8.4 gig, 8.6 gig to an 8.4 disc? Well,
You need to change the format.
Well, the same guys that brought us the firmware for the Xbox 360 made their own firmware for a particular PC brand, which they put in, and then we had to use a particular image burn software. It was a particular version, and we used that, and that allowed us to burn the extra 200 meg to the actual disk. So when they changed that disk format, Microsoft, when they did the updates in the systems, updated the firmware in the DVD drives as well. So it accommodated the challenge responses. And every time they did an update, they updated that challenge response in the drive as well to try and keep defending against it. Until that update happened when they did it behind the scenes without telling anybody, and the hackers put a silver bullet straight through it, and the LT3 firmware came out, and that's it. There's never been another firmware for it since. There's never been another update for that since. Because it's done, finished. So what they did to try and defend it, they started doing it in the light-on drives, where you had to cut a trace and probe it to be able to get it unlocked status into vendor mode. Same within the slims with the DS4, which I've just done the Kamikaze one. If it's got the MXCI chip in there, which is the No 3, starts on the number, and the other one's Win Bond, starts 05. If it's Win Bond, then you're doing the Kamikaze hack, which I've just done in that video. If it starts 03, which is the MXCI, I always get it mixed up which way around on the end. That one again, you can do like the old light-ons. We can do a trace cut and probe and unlock the drive, which is really easy. At the end, they realised with the MXCI chip that now we can't get into this and do it. So they then changed the drives so you couldn't lock. You couldn't get into them at all. Some of the slim drives you just could not unlock, which is the Lighton 5DS, where I did change the LTU firmware on the previous video. That one you cannot get into at all for the key. Your key is your main thing. The key in the challenge response file for that firmware is the main thing, and you can't get that the firmware off that drive at all, period. So the only way to do it is to RGH the console, so you can extract the files that you need for your firmware out of the RGH files, out the NAND, take off your RGH and rewrite it back as a stock. Then you can use an LTU PCB board and write the firmware to it and put it back in to play games, your backup games. But it's a long way around doing it that way. Microsoft then decided that there was going to remove the post pin from the slims, so you couldn't pick up from the post anymore. So we now had a post-fix adapter, which is a little clamp bracket that goes around the CPU that has a pin on the side that pokes on the solder ball to the CPU to pick up for that. So they got around that defense. Yeah, they did all sorts. They were battling down the lines all the way down the line with them. So when you get to them Kronas that need that, it's got the 5DS drive in. If you're RGH in a console, you don't really need a flash drive. It makes it sort of feel complete if you have got a flash drive, so it can run different discs and stuff like that, especially when you've got a modding console. But you don't particularly need them. You can put an original in and back it straight up to hard drive. If you want to put download one off internet, extract the files onto a USB stick and shove that into the front of it, you can copy them over and play that game if you want. If you want to connect via FTP from your PC, not a problem at all. Just open your window page up, log straight onto your Xbox and send them files straight over the internet, straight to it. So you don't particularly need something that'll run backup discs. But as I said, when you've got an RGH console that's completely open, that allows you to do all that stuff, but your disk drive can't,
yeah,
it sort of feels incomplete, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's why I put the LTU board into my Star Wars one.
I mean, it's amazing, all those game consoles, the amount of hardware security that's built inside, the software security, all those defenses systems and mechanisms, and almost everything is cracked at some point. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I'm a great believer if a human can make it, a human can break it.
Yeah, but the amount of energy that is involved to make these boxes secure as possible and locked as possible.
If you simplify it and think of it in a coder's way, right? If you simplify it, when you put that disk in and it reads that disks and it's asking the drive these challenges, what are the answers to these challenge answers? Well, to get around it, what do? You give it the answers.
Okay.
And it gets past the hypervisor. If you think about it, it's the same thing as what they did with the PlayStation 1. You look at a PlayStation 1 disc, right on the inside edge, it's got like a shiny barcode around it. So when you bang it in, for people that don't know, when you put it in, that it reads that first time. So it just reads that straight off there and it goes, yeah, we've got that code off that disc. We can play the game. Well, that code off that disc doesn't matter whether it's a different code. You only need one code off that disc to instigate the disc drive.
That's how the Dreamcast got around the Dreamcast.
They put a repeater chip in, didn't they? Just get bombarding it with that same code message, so you never ever had to bother again.
Dreamcast had the boot disc, didn't they? Originally,
yeah, we did.
Booted it, found it was original, and then you just stuck whatever you wanted in.
Yeah. Which is the same as what that Activate disc was. If you watch the LTU one that I did, that's what that was as well. That was just a simple disc that they wrote that you could put in and it just boot it. It didn't matter whether it were a normal drive or not. It just dropped all its guards down from all its defenses and it would just read a disc anyway. But yeah, it's quite clever, the stuff, how they work around it and think about it. Moving on to the Xbox One, well, that's pretty much secure now. What they did on the last revision for the 360, I don't know whether you've watched it, Joseph, the one where I talk about a Winchester board.
I can't remember. I don't think so.
So the Winchester board was the last revision of Xbox 360. That came out around about August 2014 onwards. So we tend to avoid them consoles because they're classed as the unmoddable console. The reason being is the post pin, where you had to have that clamp around it.
Yeah.
They decided we're going to move it into the middle of chip.
Middle.
Oh wow!
So it's a completely different chip that's on there as well, as you can appreciate. So you can't RGH it because you've got no post points. So if you can't RGH it, you can't get your disk drive data, so it can't run backups. So they've actually carried that stuff through, and that what they've learned from that Microsoft through into the Xbox One.
Yeah, what you need to do is lift the processor off, put a piece of Kynar wire onto that pad, resolder the processor back on.
Yeah, absolutely spot on.
There you go. You should try it. And make a nice video trying to put that back on.
I've got a Winchester RGH. So yeah, they did well, did Microsoft, really, defending that side of things. And then they carried all that straight through into the Xbox One, and nobody's done an RGH or a JTAG on an Xbox One. They have done the software side of it, I think.
Okay.
But I haven't really followed that scene on from them.
So they must have redesigned the whole silicon then, mustn't they? All the CPU for that. To move it.
Yeah.
All that money just to move a pin.
That's And when you think about it, it's at the back of the life of the 360. They must have done it for an FU.
This must have redesigned, yeah.
But unfortunately, you go and look at Team Executor that developed all this lot, and I think they called him C4 Ever, didn't they? That developed all that lot with like I say, with Team Executor. Or you go and look for any of their old sites, and it's all shut down, FBI and stuff like that on them now. So this stuff's getting harder and harder and harder to get hold of the old software and stuff that we needed for it. the LTU firmware that I was needing for this one. This doesn't exist anymore. Nobody does an LTU. Not even the Chinese copies do an LTU. They do an LTU 2.
Ah, okay.
But not an LTU, because that's the first version that came out from Team Executor. So that's the one that I put in my Star Wars one. That were about 40 quid back in there. About 30, 40 pound. I don't know what they are now. If you were after a proper one now, if somebody were adamant for a Team Executor one, I don't know what they'll be worth now. I would imagine 100 quid, £100 maybe, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've still got a Demon as well, if you've heard of them. That's it's a bit like a solder on PCB board, a bit like the QSB, the quick installs, where you just sit them on and you run ribbon cables from it and stuff like that. Yeah. So you can actually press a button on the front of the console and either boot into retail NAND, or you can boot into RGH NAND. So the beauty for that, for what they used to do back then, is go onto the retail side of it, download all them arcade games, demos, everything single one, because a demo wasn't just a demo. The demo was the full game that were locked. So you downloaded them all and then switched it off and flicked over to your RGH side of it and go unlock and just play them games for free.
Wow.
So that's what the Demon chip used to be able to do. You used to be able to flip between the two.
Wow.
I think they were about £60 or something when they first came out. I've still got an original one of them. It's got to be worth about 150 quid that now or something like that, I would have thought. There's no point in me putting one into a console now. Do you think it's worth it for a video? Or is it better to keep it in its box brand new?
Keep it in its box.
Well, yeah, tough question.
The rarity, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah, I would keep it in box, definitely. If it's rare, yeah.
Well, they're not made anymore. They're done years ago. Nobody bothers.
You can still make a video out of it. You don't have to install it.
No, I suppose I could do. Yeah, I could do a video showing what it was.
Yeah, what it does and a little bit of story behind it and why it's no longer needed or something like that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I might do. Yeah, so worth a thought. Food for thought.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty much it for me, really. I've been Xboxing.
Nice.
I got told off in one of the Facebook groups for posting my video in there because it's not that retro in an Xbox 360 anymore. They class it up to 1999, 2000 at a push.
It's retro, isn't it? Surely.
Came out in 2005.
Oh, I don't know. Who told you that anyway? What group?
I can't remember what group name. I chucked it in a few, but it was polite. He just said he went off topic. And I went, oh well, I thought they were retro now, and he went, no, not quite. I went, fair play, I'll delete the post then, which were fine. It wasn't this delete the post. You've got a warning, slap. I don't like that. They were quite nice and polite with the admin in there, which makes a change, to be fair. So that's been about me, really. Xboxing. Need to get rid of them. That's something else for the Discord channel. If you're still watching out there, guys, we have a selling section in there as well. You're all welcome to join, like I said earlier, and you're all welcome to use that if you want stuff to sell and move on. Discord's quite a good community. If you look at like other channels in there, they've got buy and sell as well. They've also in the other channels in there, they've got self promotion. So if you want to put your videos in there as well, you can do so, which is nice. So the Discord community sort of dips in and out of each other's channels in a way, if you know what I mean. So you've got a chance. There might be only 30 members in our channel, but you've got a chance of somebody else seeing it going, oh, I remember so and so in that other channel wanting that, and getting it bought off there. But I would like that Discord to build up quite well. I'd love to for us to get as viewers to come in. We can sort of run little surprises for them, or prizes, should I say. They can join us on a stream if they want. We'll do a quiz night one night and bring one of the viewers on. So that'd be nice if they're enjoying our videos. It'd be nice for them to come on and have an actual chat with us. I don't think they get a chance to do things like that. We're just trying to do something different for a change rather than doing the norm. Just give something different as opposed to what the normal channels do and stuff like that. So what have you got in pipeline, Neil?
I got in the pipeline. Probably a Amiga video next, I think, on this Fury, I ever get it done.
Yeah.
I'm about 75% there, so hopefully by end of the week. That BBC.
Is that the Amiga rebuild?
No, forget that thing.
Right, okay.
That 5-volt rail, honestly, mate, I pulled everything off the 5-volt rail. I got my thermal camera on, I stuck my power supply on, I put as much power through it as I want, and it was smoking my leads.
Oh my god!
I don't know what it is with them boards. I don't know whether it does something with
it must be a manufacturer fault on the board. It's got to be.
No, the reason why I said that is because I've done them before where I've recapped a 500.
Yeah.
And then I've had the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just ground on power rail. And I've taken all the caps back off again, and it's still got a ground on the power rail.
Yeah, but it's like a permanent. It's like it's soldered together, but I've been all over it with a microscope. My friend's been over it as well for about 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Gave in with it. We just nearly threw it out. I mean, it's just crazy. And it drew that much ampage through that the leads were smoking. We were getting hot smoking. So it's permanently like it's direct connection, like the joint.
That's good quality PCB. That's good quality PCB.
It is, isn't it? If he's melting his leads and not the board, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? It's drawing that much. It's like you put it on. What's his name? It's just infinite. It's
what thermal camera do you? Have you got access to it?
I had it on the thermal camera. I put the thermal camera on it, and it's nothing. No hot.
You just see your leads getting hot on it.
Exactly. I just saw my leads glowing. That's how it was.
Started watching thermal cameras with this V there. And I realised it was just the leads that were getting warm.
I mean, I don't know whether I've got them here to show you, but they actually started sticking together. Yeah. Look.
Oh, yeah.
They went shiny and melted. Oh, I've lost the camera again.
Yeah.
There you go. It went shiny and started melting together. Look.
Oh, wow.
I give in with a thing, honestly.
How much ampage did you put through it?
Eh?
How much
it had about 4.5 amps through it.
It's enough then, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It was drawing it as well. It wasn't like saying less, but if we turned down less, but it actually asked for it. It would have asked for more if my power supply would have given more.
So it's got to be then on the positive side that's grounding, right? Somewhere. And it's got to be on the positive side of something that's got a thick trace on it.
That's what I was looking for, but I couldn't
because
find
if it was something with a thin trace on it, it just brought that trace out, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
your ground plane's massive anyway. You're not going to get out of your ground plane.
Off the board, I can't really. It's just drove me nuts, mate.
It would have been nice if it had burnt that trace out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
You know what I mean? If it had burnt that trace out, and then you think, oh yeah,
I've seen it then.
But you know exactly where it is.
Yeah, but even the thermal camera wasn't showing anything special.
It could be simply the heat goes through the ground, which is actually the ground traces are
massive.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good, those thermal cameras are, but they don't fix everything.
But to pull 4.5 amps through it, yeah, okay, it's going to go through that ground plane. But what I'm saying, but your ground's already there, isn't it? You see, your positive's got to be touching it somewhere, so it's got to have a touch somewhere to be able to cope with that 4.5 amp through it.
That's what you'd have thought, yeah. I mean, I've looked through all the big, like you said, the big ground planes, because I thought there's got to be between a cap or something. There's a couple of those 3-wire caps.
Yeah.
Filter caps. There's a couple of them on that 5-volt rail, and I thought it's got to be them or something. It wasn't them.
I've got a C64 board that I could send you, and you could have a go at fixing that one.
Oh, no. Why was it up?
It
Is that
blows,
doing the same?
it blows the internal fuse.
All right.
Right, so when internal fuse blows on a 64, you've got no sound.
I had one of those Macs behind me doing that, and it wasn't blowing it. It was literally blowing it in two. Like blowing the middle out, the fuse, bang, like that.
I couldn't get my head around it. I tried to get my head around it. And could I? Nope. And what I ended up doing is getting another C64C in front of me, powering them both up, and putting a crocodile clip from the bottom side of the fuse onto the bottom side of the fuse, the other one, and it worked.
What?
What? What's that? How?
Like a jump start.
It worked perfectly fine, no problem at all. So I knew that the fault was on the top side of the fuse area somewhere.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it.
So you jump started the C64.
Yeah, that's ace, that is.
Yeah.
You should make a video about that. That's really awesome.
You know, you can do it now.
You've got
a couple of boards, try it, Josip.
So if you supply power from the power supply to that fuse, it works. Should do, shouldn't it?
If I plug that board in, standard, put a fuse in it, switch it on, fuse goes, ooh, no, you're nice and blow, boom, gone.
Yeah.
So if I pull another board up and plug power into that one as well, so I've got them both running at the same time, the one with the blown fuse.
It should work the same then if you get a power supply, shouldn't it? And just power off that fuse.
If I could take the 12 volts straight from the top.
Yeah, take a 12 volt
and jump it straight to the bottom. Yes.
Get 12 volt into it.
Yeah.
So what happens if you inject 12 volt? That's what you need to do, is inject 12 volt before and see what's getting hot, if anything's getting hot. That would be a good way.
That'd find it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But it's in my scrap box now because I got fed up of it.
That's what we used to do, because you inject
I can't move camera and show you, but they're all piled up there.
We've all got stuff piled. I mean, look behind me.
I've just off the top of my head looking up there. There's 15.
Yeah.
And it covered. There's a plastic box, and it's just full of them. You know, so
I haven't got that many, but I'm just getting
sometimes if I get a repair and they're wanting it back quick, I'll just say to them, "Well, look, I have a working board. I'll just swap your board if you want. We'll do it that way, and then I'll fix that one later, rather than try to charge for diagnostics times and stuff like that, which you can't do. We all know the amount of hours that we put into these things trying to find out what's wrong with them. You couldn't charge that customer them hours.
Yeah, definitely.
You couldn't. It'd just be unfair, you know. So I've never charged for diagnostics. Looking for fault, never charged for it. Fix, yes. If it wants parts and the labour for fixing it, then yeah, that's what I'll charge for. If you don't want it fixing, you can have the board back.
Yeah,
it's not a problem at all. Some stuff, if you start doing it and it, like it's a battery corrosion on it or something like that, and you lift up a socket and it's just gone, then I'll hand that back, give them the information about it, and hand them it back. There's no charge on it at all. Just give me back. So I don't charge unless it's fixed or I exchange. So when we're doing stuff like that back in the day, I kept a few boards, 364 boards just working, and some C64 keyboards just working. So it was just as easy for it to come in. Right, I've got keyboard fault, screws, swap it over, throw that in it bin, send it out, gone.
Yeah, Rudy suggested put 100 amps through that board.
Video it.
I'd have to use jump leads for that, wouldn't I?
Not just reefers go up in smoke, but Amiga boards too.
Yeah. Nuts.
Yeah, that'd be funny, would that, Rudy? I think you should.
I don't think power supply will handle 100 amps. Well,
just put it straight through mains.
Oh my god.
It's funny we talk about stuff like that. My uncle's got an old 8mm cine film projector that he had back in the day, and bulb's gone inside it, and it doesn't rewind anymore. So he's going, we're just going to chuck it out. As well, just get it thrown on bloody eBay. Somebody will want it. You know, somebody might even if they just buy it for knobs off it or something like that, or handle off it, or somebody will want bits. But he was saying, I said, why did you put a 12 volt in it? You know, it has to be a 6 volt bulb. I just put a 12 volt bulb in it. Because yeah, it'd be dim though, won't it? Well, yeah, but it lights up, doesn't it? Still thinking about that, but I didn't think I could go other way. I said, well, you can put a 6 volt bulb into a 12 volt system if you want. What? It'll blow, won't it? You just stick a resistor on it. You've got to do these things when you can't buy these bulbs anymore for stuff like that. I mean, that was from early 70s with that cinefilm projector.
Yeah.
I remember many of ours going up to my grandma's and sat up in his attic with him and we were watching these movies and stuff like that. I remember we were talking about it today, sat there watching it play backwards. We watched the whole movie play backwards. It was funny.
Yeah, that's great.
Funny stuff like that. Funny stuff. So what's coming up next? What has anybody else got new that they can do, or is the hope that they can tell us that they've been doing surprise things that out like that?
No surprise things. I've still got another board to build up there that Lee sent me. That she's still up there. We'll stay up there until I've had enough for boards at the moment.
Yeah, just move away from them for a bit. That's what I've been doing, Xboxes and stuff like that.
I've got some little ones to build. I've got the new Uno Kart 2 to build. As a revise that. I quite like the Uno Kart.
I do a Pico Sid as well, but I'm still waiting for a board.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that. I fetch it Saturday.
Yeah, looking forward to Saturday for Blackpool Expo. Looking forward to it.
It's in here somewhere, in this shed somewhere.
No doubt, it'll be in your pile of not working stuff.
There's a bloody thing here. I've still not found that blue scuzzy. I don't know where the hell it is. I bought a blue scuzzy to build, and it cost me about 35 quid or something. It wasn't that cheap. I just had to build it up with all the parts, and I put it in the shed, and it just disappeared. And that was about 4 months ago. No doubt, I picked it up and thought, I put that there and then forgot about it.
You do?
Wow.
It's like when I shut all my BBC stuff, didn't I? So I didn't have any more, I thought I'll get rid of BBC. Gone now. And I was moving a load of stuff, and what did I find? A cub monitor in corner under a pile of load of stuff. So that
monitors are great. I'd love to have a CRT. I just haven't got the room for one, unfortunately.
I offered it down to Mark, fix his stuff, and I said, if I'm passing, going to Blackpool, then I'll drop it in for you. But unfortunately, he's right down bottom of country, so I don't think I'll be passing.
Is he going to the show?
No, it's a long way up for him, isn't it? He's always down back near Cave, isn't he, a bit further down.
I think Ginger Epic Gaming's going again, I think.
Yeah, they always do. Them lot.
Not as famous as us, are they? That's why they won't talk to us.
Who knows? He did apologise and did say he was poorly.
Did he?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to pinball machines, I am.
He said his head were up his backside and he was full of flu and he was like, ugh. I said, you're walking around in a public place with flu. Give him me.
He's got that shop, hasn't he? It's really cool, that shop.
What's that?
That shop he's emptying. Is it a shop or whatever? Where he's digging all this stuff out of?
Oh, yeah, because it had that NES in there, didn't it? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
That they restored. I don't know much about it, to be honest, that shop or wherever it is or whatever's in it.
Nuts. There's lots of stuff coming out very, very destroyed.
Yeah. Unfortunately. And I'd have a look to see what he's been up to lately, to be fair, because life and everything else, if you know what I mean.
Last video I saw, he's selling off a load of stuff.
Right.
He's downsizing his retro collection.
I think we all go through the stage of that. I mean, I've done it twice, 3 times maybe. And it grows on its own.
It does grow
on its own. You don't have to do all. You just shut the door on it and come back. And it's like, where's that come from? It does. It breeds on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to Nottingham in a few weeks to pick something else up, which is
Oh yeah. Can we not say what?
Not yet until I get it.
Right. Okay. Is it an Amstrad?
It's one of them that's slightly begins with an A.
Amiga.
No.
Amstrad, Amiga.
Acorn. Apple.
Close, yeah, very close, yeah.
Apple II.
No, I wish.
Yeah, a bit of a holy grail over here, them things, aren't
they? Yeah, most apples are. I like apples.
I've just seen somewhere that for Apple II that they've done a Pico card to plug into it to get HDMI from it.
I've seen it. It looks amazing. You plug that in, you plug the Pico in that, and then it's straight out HDMI.
Yeah.
Wow. Really good.
I love all this stuff that people are doing in this day and age for all systems. It's absolutely great. I really do.
And it's amazing work, actually. Pretty
But
amazing.
what about, there's a guy with that Commodore 64 who's ranting on that he's got an HDMI out with audio. Do you remember? On Facebook.
Yes, but yeah, I did leave him a message saying I'd love to do a video on that, but I never heard all back from it. It was a little board that he put in there that just pulled off the signals, I think, from the VIC. But I don't know much more about that, but it would be quite interesting to do.
It'd be crazy to work if it does work with sound. I don't know how the hell he's done it.
Don't know. I did come across the other day a bit like a replacement super PLA for the C64C. I didn't even know they did one.
There you go.
No, because what they call him, who were doing it? It were either Retro Crazy or it was somebody else that were doing what he'd blown the Super PLA in his C64 when he were building that board. You remember who it was? One of his YouTube retro repairers in the group. But yeah, he's just put a new socket in it and a new chip in that one. But I would have thought, if I'd have known about the modern version of it, I would have gone for the modern version for it because it's not a lot of money. It's only about 14 quid, which is great. And of course, we can get the JCIAs for the 64s now, can't we? And the J CPUs as well, 6510s. So we're getting close now to everything being able to be replaced in the 64 with modern stuff. We can't, obviously, with logic chips and stuff like that. It's a bit different. That's just 74LS stuff in anyway, which is going to be there forever, I would imagine, until they decide to do something else with it.
Exactly. They always use logic chips, don't they?
Yeah, and if you want, there's modern RAM as well for it now. So even if you have got 8 RAM chips, you can reduce it down to the 2, or use probably SD RAM or something like that they call it. Because there's one for the C64 shortboard. There's with the 2 64K chips, well 32K chips, 2 of them that's there on the 466 board. You can buy a different style one. I don't know if I've still got one. Yes, I have. So you can buy that to replace them instead.
Yeah. Crazy.
And that just replaces the 2 RAM chips that you put in.
That just plugs in.
I mean, I bought one. I have put one. I've got the C64G, which is really nice. It's creamy, dreamy C64. I've put one of them in that one to try and keep that a little bit good rather than RAM going in that. Obviously, I've kept the RAM chips in the drawer as well if I ever need them. They can go somewhere else now. But so yeah, it's nice to we're getting all these modern stuff for these modern systems. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and the community that's out there that's developing all this stuff.
Did you guys watch the new video from Adrian's about new diagnostic ROM? Yeah.
I've seen the video. I've downloaded the bin file for it. I've got the PDF file out to build it. I do want to build one because I want to have a look at it. I think the best thing about that is it doesn't need RAM to run.
Yeah.
It uses the RAM from one of the chips out of the VIC or something like that. It uses a little bit of space that's in the VIC.
I think it changes the register, so it's redirecting the position of the RAM or something.
Right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So you'll only need a working CPU, a PLA, and a VIC.
Vic, yeah.
That's like that BBC one, isn't it? That was good. That one,
Yeah, but
that
I mean,
worked that way.
when you compare it to dead test, you put the dead test in, switch it on, and wait, and wait, and wait. And if you're lucky, you might get flashes, which will tell you which RAM it is. But you might not neither. You might just sit there looking at a black screen waiting for it to do something.
Yeah.
So the dead test cartridge is very valuable. Don't get me wrong. We've used it for years. It helps us where we know that there's RAM faults. We know that it bypasses. Is it the basic and the kernel ROMs and stuff like that?
Yes.
It bypasses all that lot. We don't need all that, so it gets rid of all that. So we will get something from it. But there is instances where you get nothing at all from it. So that new one, when you fire it up, it just comes boom straight on screen.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. That's
straight away that you've actually got a part working machine straight away as soon as that comes on. I think you said RAM tests it wasn't very comprehensive, but when it's running in that mode, but it said it's like the maxi mode, isn't it? The max mode.
Yeah, in max mode. Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting, very interesting.
Oh yes, it is.
And I will build it into one. In fact, I've got a Versa card down here that's got loads on it, and because instructions it talks about grounding some pins, talks about the game mode.
The configuration from the ROM.
And that Versa card has got switches on it, so I can play with that. So I might just drop it onto an EEPROM and throw that into Versa card and see what it's about. And then build a normal one, if you know what I mean, and keep hold of that and use that for future. I think it's they've done really well with it, to be fair. I think absolutely groundbreaking stuff, if you like, for the 64. We've not had anything on the Diag side of things for 64 for years.
Years, yeah, exactly.
People have played with the Diag software and they've made it a little bit better and stuff like that, but there's nothing new that can change the way you diagnose stuff so quickly.
Yeah. It hasn't been anything new for a long time. It's the first time that I saw some progress, and it's amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. And well done, and thank you very much for whoever's programmed that. I can't remember who said his name. Was it Des? Was it Desmod or something like that? Or?
Something like that. Yeah. Let me check.
Got it.
Yeah, Des
Test, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Des Test Max.
Yeah.
So if you're watching Des Test, Paul, mate. Paul, thank you very much for contribution in the community as well.
Oh yeah,
much appreciated. I think that thing I'll just do away with everything else, to be honest. It'll be your go-to Diag without a doubt for a black screen for sure. Because that's not. I don't think that's going to accommodate the harness.
No, but it definitely will replace the current dead test ROM. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Have you done that with your 64 for a while, Neil?
Nothing. Apart from that top half. I still play games on it now and again. We'll be doing a video on it again soon. I want to repair that drive as well. So I never had a disk drive, so I need to order some more sockets.
I'm waiting for you to do your video so I can watch it before I put mine out.
Watch it so it fails.
I've got 3 in the box and I don't know what they work or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm going to have to go back to the A2000, I think, soon, and get him his PyStorm installed into it. We'll get it back for him for his Christmas present. It's been a while, and I haven't got anywhere near to it.
Yeah.
Good.
So we got Fresh coming up. Is that it? Did you not say you had a surprise or something, Josip? Were you going to throw into the mix?
Yeah, that you saw it. Neil didn't see that.
Right. Okay.
Neil, you didn't see my new bread bin case that I acquired.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. You see this bread bin case, mate?
Oh, it's awesome. There you go. It's not Commodore brand, but it's Retro. Bread bin.
I think he should put a shortboard, C64 shortboard in it.
I think
Oh,
you
yeah,
should.
definitely.
With
Yeah.
some RGB around the inside.
Exactly.
Put
Exactly.
keyboard in and tilt it forward. When you lift the top up like that, you'll be able to type on it.
Exactly. That is good.
What?
Especially, but what you need to go with it is one of those Philips TV helmets with a lift up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the surprise, Steve.
Yeah. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
So we're hoping we're gonna have some drop-in guests in this chat this time, but unfortunately, obviously, they were too busy to be able to make it in.
Yep.
I said earlier that Lee is not with us today because he's away sunning his
Sunning
white
it
bit.
up.
And I don't blame him. I hope he's having a cracking time.
He's in Blackpool, really, I think, ready to surprise us.
You've got the Blackpool for weekend, haven't you? Speaking of Blackpool weekends, we will be at the Blackpool Expo this weekend coming up on the Saturday. We're not doing the full weekend. We were hoping to plan to do the full weekend, but I think obviously life and things have changed around. Many reasons why we've not done it this time, but fingers crossed we'll try and sort it for next year. So I'm pretty sure we'll be going again. There's some fantastic stuff there. If you've never ever been to the Blackpool Expo, go. Seriously, go. I went once and it's the third time on my trot. You know, it's good because you get to see all the people there. There's plenty of YouTubers there. If you're watching YouTube and you enjoy their content, you're more than likely going to bump into them if you go to the Blackpool Expo. There's competitions on. There's all the arcade machines that you can play. There's all the chats from the developers for games and stuff like that. I think there's a gentleman there, and I can't remember his name now off the top of my head, that did a lot of the music for the Ocean Loaders. I think he's going to be there doing a talk as well. So there's not just retro things there as well. You've got modern Xbox 360s. The tables up there with a big ring of about maybe 15, 20 Xbox 360s all linked up, so you can all playing out online and games. They have Xbox Ones there. They've got PCs there. Last Neil, she were hooked on Tetris, wasn't she? On the PC. We lost her for about an hour and a half. We're walking around all building trying to find her, and there she is, head down on PCs.
On the SNES, wasn't she?
Yeah, fair play to her.
Yeah.
Fair play. Left us walking around building for an hour, like looking everywhere for her, like, you know what I mean? Just sneaked off and AWOL she was.
Anyway, yeah. It was good though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get there early on Saturday, and I'm hoping there's got some bargains as well in that shop.
10 o'clock, innit?
Yeah, but you know when you get there for 10 o'clock, mate, there's going to be queues out of the door.
I won't be buying anything. Too expensive. Too skint.
I want to manage the vet tracks, but I won't paying 450 quid for it that they were asking for it last year.
I could turn one of those Macs into Vectrex. Very similar.
You could. You could turn them into a street bowling ball as well and see how well that will turn out.
You love them, really.
Just as much as Lee loves his Amstrads.
It's just scary working inside the things with that bloody high voltage. That's what I hate. It's all CRTs, isn't it? I don't.
Yeah,
like
CRT. Do you know what? We were talking in group, weren't we, in last week, and I was thinking about what to do, video to do, and they mentioned doing the CRTs. And Mark mix it. Mark this stuff says lick it. And I thought about it, and I thought, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that on video. Don't be scared.
After you discharged it.
You know, but there's a little bit of a fallacy about them, the CRT monitors going boom and being scared of them. Well, they're not very scary at all, really. As long as you discharge that tube and you make sure it's discharged properly, and you make sure there's no residual energy in the capacitors, it's just dead electronics.
Because the screen's like a big cap in it, basically.
Yeah.
Because you've got your live going in, and obviously the earth going back out that way. But
once you've discharged it, I get it because my dad and my uncle used to do TV repairs back in the day with the old valve amp televisions, and he took something wrong and it blew him out at living room, through living room window and into garden.
Jesus.
So I do have that in my mind when I'm playing stuff like that, and I do give it the respect that it deserves. But it's like any electronics. Once it's switched off and you've discharged them, it's just a board with components on.
Yeah.
There's not to worry about at all. So I was going to go, But yeah, I'll have to come back to them too. I don't think I've got to fly back for that earlier one. It's a 1084S. The 1084 normal S's, well, the later ones were like a D2 and a D4 or something like that, S that they called them. But the one I've got is the little flap on the front, the short flap Commodore monitor ones that come down. That's TTL input on the back, so that can accommodate BBCs. It can accommodate your C128s as well in 80 column mode. It can accommodate your Commodore PCs as well. It'll display on them, so it's quite a good monitor to have. One of those old style ones. It doesn't have SCART on the back though, which is a bit like American. They don't have SCART, but it does have the hole in the back for the cutout. And I was watching on a video, can't remember his name. God, I'm bad for names. It'll come back to me. I've saved it anyway. He did a conversion video for it the other day to change it, to put a SCART socket in the back and just put a few jumper wires on the board and a few resistors in to give it a SCART. So
we haven't got them anymore, have we?
What?
We're in the Euro SCART. Since with Brexit, we don't have them anymore, do we?
Don't know. Do we still have a Euro tunnel?
Hey?
Do we still have a Euro tunnel?
No. There's Brexit tunnel.
Did they shut it down and flood it when Brexit?
Exactly. Yeah, actually, speaking of, I know this is a bit off topic. Did you hear about Boris wanted to send the army in to nick all the vaccines in Holland?
Yeah, it's a mad world out there at the moment, isn't it? Absolutely mad world. I just bury my head, keep away from it, let them get on with it, and stay in my retro bubble.
Yeah, exactly. Safer, mate.
So I think that's it for this week, guys. It's a bit short but sweet. Would have been nice if we'd have had some guests on, but we'll try for next time. Hopefully Lee will be back with us next time as well. So stay tuned. That will be coming up on the last Sunday of October. Same time, same place. And we'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Where's that button? I need that button. Button.
Still live.
No, we're not live.